Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am having some Shasta raspberry cream with tequila. And I'm going to talk about friends you haven't spoken to in a bit. It's actually not bad. Before I get any further, let me remind you that for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. If you'd be so kind as to comment, like, and subscribe, you'd be doing your part for a better world. Now, I'm in an interesting situation where I emailed and I texted a friend I haven't spoken to in 6 months. And it's been more than 12 hours, I haven't got a response. This particular person is somewhat older than myself, and, well, there's actually a reasonable possibility they may have met a violent end, or simply be, in the hospital without access to their phone. I've got to stop slurping. That's one of those things that truly does bother me, is that, it's been long enough so that I should be a little bit worried, but I don't know when I should actually start worrying. It's not the first time this person has not contacted me in good time, so, I've actually looked up before if they had an obituary, because, literally they might have been dead. It's also possible that they just lost use of their old phone, and, maybe they need a new email address and phone number, and, it's possible. It's happened before. Things like that. But increasingly in my life, people I know are dying. Across the street from me, there was a family. They had been there, I think it was their third or fourth generation in that house. The mother's father had owned the house. The son was in his 30s, approaching 40, late 30s. And then the father died during the pandemic, okay? And after the father died, the son died like 3 years later, 3.5 years later. And a few months after the son died, the mother died. Just on my street, at least 5 people have died since the pandemic. Okay? That's not counting the scores of friends of mine who have died, or people I know who have died. I had 2 deaths in my own family in the last 4 years. I'm a little paranoid at the moment because I've known so many people who've died. And it's like, yeah, the older you get, the more people who've died you know. But, it just seems like they're all dying at once. And, it's like the age ranges from the 30s to the 80s. So it's not like, they're old people dying. They're young people dying, too. Reminds you of how fragile life is. I don't know. I could go to my computer right as soon as I'm done filming this video and see that this person is alive and doing well. I could also go to the computer and see nothing. I don't know who I would contact to find out how this person is doing, but this is the world I live in right now. I guess the point I would have to be making is, think of a friend you haven't spoken to in a while and go contact them, because you don't know if they're still around. It's an ugly world we live in, and bad things are happening to good people. Bad things are also happening to bad people, but bad things are happening all around. I don't know. I mean, the world has just gotten uglier and uglier and uglier throughout my lifetime, and I don't see much of a light at the end of the tunnel. But then, that is life. This is not, wholly unlike the Depression of the 30s, okay? And that was 90 years ago. What happened at the end of the Depression was a major economic boom. So the world got better. But, we don't know. I imagine somebody in 1932 saw the world as being pretty bleak. There were no jobs, and there were homeless encampments everywhere, and mass poverty and starvation. The world was basically falling apart. You drop them into the modern day, the only difference is they don't know how to use the computers. They're asking where all the newspapers are. So that's the world we live in. And the only thing we have in this world is each other. Danger Ducky says, I compute that you should comment, like, and subscribe.